Didn't see you there, man. DomPTO. And did you know that 99.8% of you motherfuckers watching this video right now are not subbed? Bro, I make good content. I stream often. I post often. Bro, just hit the sub button, man, and leave a like and comment. Shit, maybe even share. But with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of the video, man. All right, so we got, why in the world does Jacksonville have an NFL team? I'm from, as being a Jacksonville resident, you know what I'm saying? Shit kind of caught my eye. My dog being a little in the background. Ignore that. You know what I'm saying? Jaguars suck, not gonna lie. Yeah, you can suck my dick. Word. Nigga, why you not 6-figure fuck? Cause I'm broke. Nigga, I don't got no money, nigga. Twitch YouTube shit ain't working, nigga. Shit, I'm still gonna do it. But yeah, as a Jacksonville resident, I want to see what this nigga gotta say. I don't know why this nigga put Georgia up here. This is not Florida. I don't think that's Georgia. Florida's like here. Like, it's like there. I don't know why that it did up here, nigga. This is not Florida. This is fucking Georgia. But we gonna see what they gotta say.
Is often forgotten about within the sports world, which is crazy since
True.
it's home to one of the most populated.
It is. We are the 12th populated city in the U.S., by the way. We have a population of 1.2 million people. We're the 12th biggest city, and I think we're the biggest city in terms of landmass. By the way.
Cities in the country. But to be a forgotten area, there must be something noteworthy in the first place.
We're not
this
talking
is the
about
city
India.
of Jacksonville. It's home to the NFL's Jaguars.
Duval! Like, what are they talking about, bro? Like, hold on real quick, man. Like, hey, what the boys talking about, boys? It's really Duval till we die. It be really Duval till we die. Y'all peep game. Y'all peep game. Y'all peep game. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, I'm going to be the general manager once, you know what I'm saying? I'll tell you, business. I'm in my major is a business management degree. I'm trying to become a GM in the NFL, and I want to become a GM for the Jaguars. I will make our team great. If you are watching this video, have faith in me. I will make this team great again. Facts. Talking about 1995 and all that.
Jaguars, and that's pretty much it.
Who is this
Besides
guy?
having a franchise in the world's richest league, there's not much else going on in the city when it comes to major professional sports.
True.
Why is that? If you're familiar with the NFL, you know that pretty much every franchise in the league is situated in a sizable city. Like any successful sports franchise, metropolitan areas dictate where teams are and how many teams it can support. It's why the biggest metro centers in the US have at least 2 or 3 teams competing in the Big 4 sports leagues. And it's also why...
By the way, the Jacksonville Jaguars only have one team. We have one, it's just the Jaguars.
Of hubs like New York, LA, or Chicago sometimes have multiple teams playing in the same league. However, in the NFL, a powerhouse league when it comes to generating revenue, only 2 teams are based in cities that don't have any other major professional franchises. One is the Green Bay Packers, the other is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Packers, based in Green Bay, Wisconsin, play in a metro area of just 320,000 people. That's by far the smallest center with a major pro team within the United States.
But that doesn't even matter for real, because like they got the Bucks. Like, isn't like, how far is Green Bay from Wisconsin? Green Bay to Milwaukee. I'm stupid as shit. I guess. Oh, there's 2 E's, my bad. And like, it's like an out. No, that's basically saying like, oh, the Jazz got the magic, which is true, but like, never mind. I understand. I understand. What's up, Ron? Best team right now is the Seahawks. The Seahawks are actually my second the Seahawks were actually my first team I ever liked, because like, well, I played football, like flag football when I was a jet and stuff, and I love playing football, but I never watched football. Like, so I remember watching the Super Bowl with my mom or something. It was like South Patriots or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm going for the Seahawks, and that was my team ever since then. And then I realized the Jaguars like existed, and then it's been the Jaguars ever since then. Because obviously I'm gonna support my hometown team, so my Seahawks are number 2, but the Jaguars have my heart. You know what I'm saying?
The key driver that's helped the team become so successful in such a small market is its long-standing history in the NFL.
Yeah, they've been here forever,
as well as the fact that it's publicly owned by the fans. So moving the team to a larger city is quite difficult since the community has a say of its own. But regardless of the small community, the Packers are still one of the most strongly supported NFL teams. This is partly due to the fact that it's the sole franchise in Wisconsin, as well as its prior success.
Exactly. That's
Historical
really it.
relevance goes a long way in carving out a team's identity. But that doesn't explain why Jacksonville only has the NFL's Jaguars.
That is true.
Unlike the Packers, who for decades on end have been the only NFL team based in their own state, the Jaguars, on the other hand...
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Here, listen, I'm gonna already answer this question. Like, why in the world does Jacksonville have an NFL team? So, for one, like I said earlier, we're the 12th biggest city in the nation. We're the biggest landmass. And, like, with that big population, like... I really can't answer it. I can tell you why it's not, like, why we're not really successful as a franchise and not only, like, as just a city. Our city council is so weak, cut. We can never get projects moved to actually build our city. That's why our downtown is so weak. If you, like, obviously, none of y'all probably been to Jacksonville's downtown, but it is not developed at all. There's a bunch of homeless people all over it. It is broken. And it's just terrible. Like there's no projects. And even if there is a building, something, it takes so long to get done. It's stupid. Like, cause I remember the highway or whatever was being worked on for like 10 years. The same spot, swear to you. Same spot. 10 years. Like, I went from elementary to like middle school to high school. That jump was still not fixed. Like, stuff like that. But, and then why our football team is not successful is like, it's always been a lack of coaches. Like, we've never had a really good coach. Except for Tom Coughlin back in like when the Jaguars first got started. And then the owner, Shad Khan, he's more of a financial guru than like a Jerry Jones, who's really hands-on with his football team and really cares about football, right? So Shad Khan, he's tried to do something, and we have Lot J, which is getting which I think got passed, and that's like one of our first major developments in our city, sort of. It's gonna bring a bunch of hotels and stuff like that. It's like all around the stadium to actually make the stadium, just to make the overall place near the stadium better. And then not only that, but we have our stadium renovations, which is probably gonna make our stadium the most futuristic stadium in the league. So, like I said, he does a great job financially, with our franchise. But in terms of football and like actually handling football stuff, it's never been good, right? So. That's really the main problem it is with our franchise not being successful. And then the lack of development in our city is the other reason we don't have something like an NBA team. I think we have like a hockey team. I don't know if it's I don't think it's NHL. Like I don't think it's just a hockey team. It's like a minor league or something like that. We have a minor league baseball team too, but like no major league, which is crazy. Like, I've always been on a basketball team here. I'm a Golden State fan because we don't have a basketball team, and I'm a Magic fan. So like. You know what I'm saying? That's the real reason we have nothing going on in the city. And it's actually a lot of the reasons why people like growing up here and move out is because there's nothing here. Because there's no development.
There's franchises and
people
don't
follow
benefit from having
KY2
statewide support, since Tampa Bay and Miami both have teams of their own.
True.
Even Orlando, who benefit from having the Magic, Orlando City SC, along with Disney World, appears to have a lot more to offer than the Northeast region of Florida. So why in the world does Jacksonville have an NFL team? Let's get one thing out of the way. Jacksonville is deceiving. Here's an outline of the city of Jacksonville. It's fairly substantial. Within this border lives nearly 1 million residents. That makes Jacksonville in or around the top 10 highest populated cities within the United States.
Boom,
putting it above Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Boston, Detroit, and many others that have sports teams in several top leagues.
Telling you, bro.
But the difference between Jacksonville and the rest of these cities is what's outside of its borders. As mentioned earlier, Jacksonville is geographically huge. So huge that it's the second largest city by land area in the country if you don't count cities from Alaska. But for the most part, that's pretty much it.
Basically, it's first. Like, he said second. Like, it's first.
The vast majority of people in Jacksonville's metro area live within the city limits, with very few situated in the handful of towns on the outskirts. The city is so wide and so vast that it's not considered to be inside Duval County. It is Duval County. Jacksonville being vast and relatively populated, the surrounding counties contribute very little to the region's population.
Facts.
But what does all of this have to do with the Jaguars? On the surface, it explains why there's a lack of major professional sports in the region, with there being other cities around the country that can better support more than one franchise. But as we already know, the NFL managed to wriggle its way into the region and awarded it its 30th franchise. Now, bear in mind that Jacksonville's path to securing an NFL team was anything but conventional. It involved playing the long game while having its fair share of stiff competition from other cities that many expected to beat out the one in northeastern Florida. Now, there are concerns that question the Jaguars' existence today, and that will be covered later in this video. But no one can deny Jacksonville deserving the franchise when it was awarded to them in 1993, no matter how big of a surprise it was at the time.
I'm telling you, for a team that just got a team, the fact that they were so good their first 3 years is crazy. Like, you have no idea. Like, that's crazy. Like, almost go to the Super Bowl their first 3 years as a new franchise is crazy.
For context, 1995 saw the NFL expand from 28 to 30 franchises. It was the league's first expansion since the 70s, so naturally, there was a high demand of untapped markets that wanted to throw their hat into the NFL's ring. The 5 cities that bid for the 2 vacant spots were Charlotte, St. Louis, Baltimore, Memphis, and Jacksonville. From the very get-go, Jacksonville seemed to be the least likely city to get a team. This was due to their small metro population and minimal TV market. It was a huge surprise to most that the city even made it to the final stage of the bidding process. But the clever maneuvers performed in the background gave Jacksonville a chance. These maneuvers began in the late 70s, when Robert Irsay, the owner of the Colts, visited Jacksonville while he was considering moving his team from Baltimore to another city. He was wined and dined by local executives and politicians who longed to promote Jacksonville through sports. The city had consistently hosted the annual Georgia-Florida Gator Bowl every year, but beyond that, Jacksonville's sports scene was fairly hollow. Despite Irsay's visit to northeastern Florida, it was all performative. The Colts owner used Jacksonville as leverage to try to get a better stadium from the city of Baltimore. Nothing came from that meeting in Jacksonville, and Irsay went on to infamously move the Colts in the dead of night to Indianapolis just 5 years later.
Crazy.
The city of Jacksonville recognized the intentions from the Colts owner and used it to their benefit. Over the next decade, Jacksonville city officials would attend NFL meetings, host parties for team executives, and openly give tours to franchise owners who continue to use Jacksonville as a negotiation tactic when dealing with their respective cities. So despite being used as a pawn by other owners,
we really just played everything so smart to get a team. We really you know what I'm saying?
Jacksonville on the map, which led to the city becoming one of the final 5 to be considered for NFL expansion. By the way, I have a weekly newsletter now, so subscribe to it if you want. And while you're at it, thanks. Skipping ahead to 1993 now, Charlotte became the first city to be awarded a franchise among the 5 finalists. The announcement for the second expansion team was delayed by a month, and some thought it was to allow St. Louis to put in a better bid. But in the end, Jacksonville was selected by the owners, who voted 26-2 in favor of the northeastern Floridian city. This was all thanks to the legwork performed by city officials in the years leading up to the expansion, and it helped that its competitors either couldn't form a viable...
Don't y'all lose almost every game? I mean, yeah, but that's been the last 15 years because of poor management of the team. Again, when we first started, we were really good, you know what I'm saying? And then you saw 2017, we should have reached Super Bowl. Miles Jack wasn't down. We got cheated by the Tom Brady and refs. I cried after that. We lost that game. It's always been the coaches and our owner. Like I said, I think if Shad Khan wants to do some city work for Jacksonville, and develop us, give him a position where he can develop Jacksonville, I think that'd be great for him. But him owning the team is no, he does not need to own the Jaguars. I mean, I know he makes money from it, but bro, we're not winning no games. So, and we always had terrible coaches. So that's the other thing. A lot of talent, no coaches.
Ownership group or had a history of losing an NFL franchise. Nonetheless, the underdog Jacksonville finally got its professional sports franchise. In the years that followed, Jacksonville replaced its aging Gator Bowl stadium with a brand new one fit for NFL football. It also enjoyed its early success in the late 90s as the team reached the AFC Championship twice in 4 years. This early success helped consolidate a strong fan base in northeastern Florida as well as southeastern Georgia. However, even with the initial breakthrough, the current outlook of the Jacksonville Jaguars remains uncertain.
No, they don't.
Jacksonville Jaguars are set to play back-to-back home games in Wembley Stadium in London in the year 2020.
That is not a home game. That is actually the furthest thing away from a home game that is possible in the NFL for Jacksonville. Now,
fast forward to today, the excitement surrounding the Jaguars is now a shadow of what it was during the 90s. The team has had seasons ranging from abysmal to acceptable, but overall, mediocrity has consumed the franchise. This has been reflected through measly attendance figures. Obviously, when the Jaguars have a good season, fans come out in full force. But when there's a lack of sustainable success or an uninspiring project, that's when rumors begin to circulate.
Let me be clear, the Jacksonville Jaguars will move to London.
The Jags aren't the head and shoulders top target to make a move like that.
But for the season ticket holders in Jacksonville, this is definitely something that is a sad situation.
Now, let me clarify that attendance issues in the NFL looks a lot different than in other leagues like Major League Baseball. With less than 10 home games every season, it's difficult to find empty sections in Everbank Stadium since there's plenty of demand meeting the minimal supply. But knowing NFL owners and their eagerness to get up and leave for another city, would the Jaguars ever consider departing from Jacksonville?
Hey,
This is Shahid.
if this guy, I swear, if this nigga ever moves this team, I will hunt this nigga down and put it into him myself. Is that understood?
Khan. He's owned the Jaguars since 2012, and pretty much from the get-go of his tenure, he's had the team participate in the NFL's London Games. Barring 2020, the Jaguars have had to play in London every season since 2013, and there's no sign of slowing down. Khan also attempted to purchase Wembley Stadium in 2018. On top of being home to England's national soccer team, the Jaguars have consistently played their games in Wembley when visiting London every year for the past decade. Khan, however, eventually pulled away from his offer. Still though, the Jaguars continue to play one of their 17 regular season games across the pond, and controversially, the event tends to be regarded as a home game for the Jaguars. That's one less game without home field advantage when compared to most other teams.
He looks just like you. Yo, bro, my nigga, I will grab you by the fucking testicles and I will rip them bitches off and feed them to my dog, Roger, my nigga. Stop playing me, bro. Real talk.
Setting aside the on-field disadvantage due to the lack of homegrown Jaguars fans in the seats, it sends a bad message to the fan base in Jacksonville, who for the past decade have gone without one less home game while their team acts in the interest of the NFL's expansion into the European market. Couple that with the franchise not having the most inspiring performances over the past decade, warning signs point to Jacksonville being the next city to lose an NFL team. As time passes by though, this doesn't seem to be the case. Earlier in this video, it was highlighted that the Jaguars had to fight a clever battle in order to bring a team into one of the league's smallest untapped markets. And as it turns out, the craft to attract a team sometimes needs to be maintained in order to have it compete financially. With two other teams in Florida, along with the Falcons in Atlanta, the Jaguars have plenty of obstacles if they wish to expand their reach beyond Duval County, especially when Florida is home to plenty of transplants who maintain their affiliations to wherever they come from. So under Khan, the team has chosen the road less traveled.
Yeah, you
Instead
better
of
be sorry,
emphasizing
sir.
its marketing efforts into a saturated region, the Jaguars looked the other way and took advantage of the league's desire to expand into Europe. Meanwhile, the franchise looks to be set on building a new stadium in Jacksonville.
By the way, this is the I forgot what it's called, but this is what, like they said, the new stadium's gonna look like,
Which would guarantee the franchise
Like, this would be hard, This would be so hard.
remaining for several decades. This, along with prior investments towards facilities, is a positive sign indicating that the team
No,
isn't
it's
going
not
anywhere
done.
anytime.
Like, when it's done, it's gonna look like that. But they don't start, like, they said, I think our first game will be in 2027 in that stadium. Or, like, 2028.
Soon.
We won't play with that
Should
anytime
the fans
soon.
feel satisfied with losing a home game every year? Probably not. But let me know what you think about the whole situation in the comments section below. Hindsight is 2020, and while it's too soon to tell how Jacksonville performs commercially overseas in the long run, the approach is reflective of the challenges that comes with having a team in Jacksonville, which is something no major professional franchise has ever experienced. It took creative ways to bring a franchise into the region, and perhaps there needs to be more creativity to grow the team's fan base. Jacksonville may not have the benefit of being grandfathered into the NFL, similar to that of Green Bay, but it's a city that tends to be overlooked by most people when thinking about Florida's hubs. Being the lone franchise in a small market may appear to be vulnerable to some, but it eventually becomes the center of the community. In Jacksonville's case, it didn't take long for the Jaguars to become the heart of River City, but maybe one day it'll be the heart of London too. Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and check out other videos on this channel for more content on stadiums and sports.
Bro, it'll never be the heart of London. But nah, it's like we have a good London fan base, but it's like, what does it really matter over there? Like they play soccer. And soccer lasts longer than football. I mean, I know a lot of people like football, but you know what I'm saying? So basically our city needs to develop. Shad needs to do better with the team. We need better coaches, and we'll be a successful franchise.